Hello everyone. I haven't made a proper record update in about 2 years. I have made those record store day purchases videos, but not proper record updates. So these are all from late 2020, very early 2021. So I still have about a year's worth of records prior to these and year's worth of records after these, but I decided to go with these ones. So let's start with a few that came more or less directly influenced by VC members. And first three ones are through James Griffiths. And the first one is John Cale, Paris 1919. One that I had been thinking about for several years, but finally made myself buy this one. And this one includes 10 bonus tracks. Very surprised to find how commercial or at least accessible album this one is. So yeah, I expect his other albums to be very different to this one. Another artist that I already had thought that I have everything that I need, I'm not going to buy anything more, but his video made me buy this one. This is Roy Orbison, Crying, with 12 bonus tracks. This is, in my opinion, Roy Orbison's peak period. And then reggae music is something that I'm not a big fan of, but there was like always the feeling that I need to buy something that I'm not familiar with. So I decided to buy Max Romeo and the Upsetters' War in Babylon. Since I'm not a great reggae fan, it's not exactly a great album to me, but I do like listening to this one, deep reggae album. Okay, let's move on to Hannah, Omaha Introvert. I bought Veruca Salt, 8 Arms to Hold You. 90s, would it be indie rock? So yeah, again, this type of genre like passed me by completely during the 90s. I didn't pay any attention to this. So yeah, I can't say that this is among my great favorites, but I did like this. Same as Pixies, I like these, but I'm not a great fan. Okay, one more reggae album. This, unlike most of the other stuff, is more or less my recent purchases sometime during late last year. One of the very earliest reggae songs that I recall ever hearing, The Harder They Come by Jimmy Cliff, and I was very surprised to find that I knew practically every song on this album. Only the Draw Your Breaks by Scotty is only a song here that I didn't know. I knew all the others. You Can Get It If You Really Want, Rivers of Babylon, Many Rivers to Cross, Sweet and Dandy, Johnny Too Bad, 007 Shantytown, Pressure Drop, Sitting in Limbo. So yeah, brilliant album. Okay, then very surprising find. I thought that I knew all the releases from Tom Petty, so to find that there were releases that I didn't know. This is Mudcrutch Extended Play Live, 4-track live EP. Songs are not in the order that they are mentioned here on a back sleeve. But yeah, great live EP. Again, I'm a big fan of Sandy Denny, so whenever I find anything interesting, I will buy it. I've always kept the Unicorn, the acoustic Sandy Denny double CD, including tracks with the Strawbs, Fairport Convention, Fotheringay, The Bunch, and her solo stuff. Yeah, incredible. Just love Sandy Denny. And now that there's the Record Store Day list has been released, there's a Sandy Denny album, and it's the only one that I must have. Although there are a lot of albums, I think there were 18 albums that are on maybe list, but the Sandy Denny album is the only one that I absolutely want. Okay, a couple of years ago when Little Richard died, it made me think that from the 50s style rock and roll, rockabilly, how many of the black artists have I seen? And I started thinking that, okay, I have seen some of the original 50s artists like Little Richard, I have seen them live. But what about the bands and artists who have started within the last 30 years? How many of them have been black? And I couldn't come up with any. I realized that I have seen dozens, if not hundreds, of bands during the last 30 years, but I couldn't remember a single black artist or black musicians within those. And I had to start looking for that. Are there any black artists within this 50s style rock and roll genre? And I only could find one. So here's Tammy Savoy with Chris Casello combo. This is a 6-track mini album. So yeah, very good 50s style rock and roll. But yeah, she's the only black artist that I could find from last 30 years, and I was extremely shocked to find this, I have to say. Okay, one of the also more the only other recent purchase, with the exception of Jimmy Cliff, was Camel. I mentioned within one of my record store day purchases that I had also bought one of the Camel albums, but I didn't really like that one. It had a few good tracks, but the rest of the stuff was like, yeah, okay. But so I decided that as far as Camel goes, I need her singles, so I needed a compilation. Surprisingly difficult to find, but yeah, this is all great stuff. Okay, let's move on to the vinyl, and this one was the last album released by Ronnie Lane, and the last album that I was missing. This is See Me. This says is from '79, but I think this one was issued in 1980. Yeah, Ronnie Lane's final solo album. Not that much of a difference between this and his earlier solo albums, but a bit of a difference, but still equally great album. Very happy to add the final missing album. Next one was one that I didn't know that had been released at all. I was just going through the records at a record store, and I came across this one. The Butterfield Blues Band live at Woodstock. Double album. Great blues rock. So happy that there's been several different Woodstock related releases during the last several years. I'm thinking that I will make a short video of my Woodstock related releases. Neil Young, Homegrown. He's supposedly lost great masterpiece from 1976. Finally issued. I don't think so. First of all, there would be 2 tracks that I would completely have left off. One of the tracks is Neil Young talking, probably being drugged up out of his mind, rambling something incoherent, and then there's this playing the glasses, playing the rim of the glasses sound there, some piano string plucking, and another crap track also, and a couple of songs here are just yeah, okay. Does include a couple of great tracks also, but yeah, hardly any lost great masterpiece. Okay, but this next one is a masterpiece. Emmylou Harris, Wrecking Ball. I bought this one on CD around about the time of its release. Very different to her earlier country infused material. This is more like a folk, but very different sounding. This is very similar in atmosphere like Bob Dylan's Oh Mercy, and has the same producer, Daniel Lanois. So yeah, very, very different to what Emmylou Harris usually has done, but absolutely stunningly wonderful album. Okay, another country album, Troublemaker by Willie Nelson. This is album from 1976. There's been just a few albums that have been reissued on vinyl by Willie Nelson, and I have no idea why they have chosen like album here and album there. There's no like clear plan. So yeah, I have no idea why they have chosen the albums that they have. But anyway, this one is from 1976. Great Willie Nelson album. Well, it's Willie Nelson album, so you know what it's like. Hold on, I'll find out one other album. Where is it? There it is. Waylon Jennings, The Rambling Man. I was expecting the title track to be a cover of the Allman Brothers Band, but it's not. I have a few Waylon Jennings albums from 70s and early 80s, and I have come to appreciate Waylon Jennings very much, so I think it's very, very good album. Again, same as with the Willie Nelson, I have no idea why they have chosen to reissue just a few albums from here and there. Okay, next one, didn't really need that one, but well, couldn't pass it up. Bangles Gold, a 12-track compilation. Surprising considering that this one was also issued on CD, and on CD I think it was a triple CD. So vinyl only 12 tracks, but all 12 tracks are absolutely fantastic. Okay, next one. I have a couple of albums by this next artist, and I have wanted to buy more, but first of all, his albums don't come up often, and I'm not really familiar with his recordings, so I don't really know how to proceed, but this one I knew to be a great one. Townsend Sand, Flying Shoes, sort of mixture of country, folk and singer-songwriter. Very moody stuff, very, very great. Okay, Bob Marley and the Wailers reissues came on his 75th anniversary. So, but since I have all of his albums already, with the exception of Survival, I decided that I'm only going to buy my favorite album, Kaya. So this is half-speed mastered. So supposedly these are like fantastic sounding, but I'm not an audiophile, so I don't know. It sounds good to me, but is it such a fantastic sounding album? I don't know. Sounds good to me, that's all I care. Okay, then there were John Hiatt reissues from his later period recordings, and I'm not familiar with those at all, so I just blindly chose one of the albums, and I chose The Tiki Bar Is Open. And I was very happy with this one, so I decided that, yeah, I have to get more. And I listened to a few tracks online and came up with another album, but it turned out to be, well, impossible. I just couldn't find it here. I tried to find it, but even after several months, I couldn't find it. So I went online and decided to try and find it from Amazon. I have actually never ordered a record from Amazon. It was, I think it was over 10 years ago when I tried to, a couple of times I tried to order, but a couple of times when I tried to make an order, it just came that these albums are not delivered to your country. And one of the times, the records that I was looking for came at like absolutely ridiculous prices. The one that stuck in my mind was a double CD of Essential Chris Christopherson double CD, and it cost something like 300-400 pounds, and it was missing one CD. So like, who on earth would make a purchase like that? So now I decided to try and find through Amazon 2 records, and I did find. And one was the other John Hiatt record, Crossing Muddy Water. Just brilliant. Not a Muddy Waters tribute, as you might expect, considering the title. Great album, and these reissues come as is multicolored vinyl. The other one was one that I had also been looking for several years. I would have bought it either on CD or vinyl, but I couldn't find it. Well, this vinyl reissue was available here, but for some reason his albums here, especially this one, were just incredibly expensive. This is George Harrison with Eric Clapton and his band live in Japan. So yeah, Very glad to find this for a very, very reasonable price through Amazon. I can't say that this is anywhere near my favorite live albums, but I do like this. So after this one, I do believe I have everything I need from George Harrison. Next album, you might wonder that don't I have that one already? And yes, I do have this one. Dark Side of the Moon. I have this one on vinyl and CD already, but my reason to purchase this was that I didn't have these stickers or these posters. I'm not gonna open it anymore. But yeah, I decided because sometime earlier I had purchased one other album also, which I already had, but I was missing the poster, so I decided that I can do the same with this album also. So I bought it just to get those. But unlike the other album, this time I chose to keep that vinyl album. Okay, and the final one here doesn't go very, very long. Blues. Lowell Fulsom, The Blues Come Rolling In, recordings 52 to 62. Lowell Fulsom was never on my radar, thinking that I need to get something from him, simply because all I knew from him was the one Elvis cover, Reconsider Baby. But when I saw this one, I think this was 11 euros. I didn't hesitate buying it at all, and yeah, it's great blues. Okay, that's it for this time. Hopefully I will make another record update and another video very soon. Thanks for watching, hope you like this, leave a comment, bye.